Hi everybody, thank you for joining me for a practice today. Today we're going to do an hour Vinyasa flow class with lots of different options to try out. We'll be focusing on some hip opening today. And so some props that I recommend for you to have, not the strap, sorry, I meant to move that out of the way. A blanket, if you like to have a blanket for any type of pose, maybe to put underneath your knees for support, or underneath your head and neck, or even your pelvis if you're lying on your belly in some of the poses. So if you like to have a blanket, go ahead and grab that. And then I typically end up having 2 blocks with me. We may only end up using one of these 2 blocks, but I like I like to have both of them just in case. So if you have those, grab them. If not, no big deal, no worries. I'm gonna just kind of push them off to the side a little bit. And so, again, we'll be doing a 60-minute Vinyasa flow. I'm Juliana, and I'll be leading you through it today. And so remember that with any options that we do, you always have the option to try a different variation or do a different pose completely, whatever feels best to your body today. And so also remembering that I'm just here to suggest things, that if you'd prefer to just kind of sit and breathe with me, or maybe just watch, that's fine too. Maybe do a little bit of it and do the rest of it later. Any of those options that work. And so remembering that only you know what it feels like to be in your body, so only you know what feels good for you. So we're going to go ahead and start out today in a child's pose, and you can take any variation of child's pose that you like. So that can be knees wide or knees together, arms forward or back. You can use your blocks if you like to. I'm going to go ahead and show you the way that I like to use the blocks here, but this is totally up to you. And if you really are not in the mood for child's pose and you prefer a completely different pose, then go ahead and take that instead. And so remembering, again, these are always options, there are always choices. And so taking any variation you like. Because we are going to be doing some hip opening today, I'm going to start with knees wide, toes together. And then I'm going to let the arms reach forward, but I like to use the blocks to give my shoulders a little bit of love. So I actually place the blocks under forearms and kind of elbows here. And then relaxing the head and neck down. Fingertips can relax. I'm just starting by taking a few deep breaths. Remembering to allow your breath to be natural without any kind of force or restraint. And then perhaps taking a moment to set intention for your practice. So maybe that intention is just to focus on being present for the hour. Maybe the intention is to move and breathe in whatever way feels best to you today. Maybe the intention is to remind yourself that we change each and every day. And so our energy level may be different today. The poses might feel different today. Our breathing might feel different today. And that's all okay. So to allow ourselves to find acceptance in whatever way feels best to us today. And so once you've taken a few deep breaths in your child's pose, if you've got your blocks, you can just kind of push them out of the way. I'm just going to bop these over here. And we're going to kind of stay in our child's pose position. So if you have your knees together, you might want to take them a little bit wider. But we're going to let the hands kind of reach forward slightly in front of the shoulders. And then when you're ready with your breath in, take your right hand, reach up like you're going to tap the ceiling. And then with your exhale, reach underneath your left arm, relax onto your shoulder, onto your cheek. Left hand can kind of walk forward, you can kind of walk it out, or you can rest it down if that feels good. So you're just giving your shoulder a little love. I even like to take that arm and wrap it around like I'm going to give myself a little half hug. Tell myself, good job for doing this. Taking a few deep breaths here. And remember to move slowly to find the edge of sensation and to allow ourselves to remain present in whatever sensation we might be feeling. And after a couple of breaths on this side, gently pressing into the left hand so that you can lift back up. Release that right hand forward, then take the left arm, reach up like you're gonna tap the ceiling, and then with the exhale, reach under, relax onto the shoulder, onto the cheek. Right arm can be active or you can let it rest, and remember you can give yourself a little half hug if that feels good to you. And then gently releasing the left hand and pushing into the right hand so that you can prop back up. From here, we're going to rock forward to our hands and knees and just kind of reposition. And from hands and knees, we'll do 5 rounds of cat-cow. So remember that your cat-cow can be as big or as small as you like. You can add extra movement or extra wiggles if you like, so totally up to you. With your breath in, think about lifting the tailbone, lifting the chest. If you like to add extra wiggles, I like to wiggle around. And then with the exhale, round out, curl in. Again, you can add extra wiggles. So we're going to do 5 rounds on your own breaths, inhaling with your cow and exhaling with your cat. And as you do your 5 rounds, maybe notice if there are any places that you might need to have a little bit of extra attention, any places that might feel kind of sore or tight. Good. And then once you've done about 5 rounds, then go ahead and come back to center. I'm not quite sure if I did 5, I lost count. And then from here, we're going to start to move into downward facing dog. So we're going to tuck our little toes under, sit hips to heels, maybe stretch out your feet. You can kind of rock side to side if it feels good to your toes. And then when you're ready, we're going to start to move back into downward facing dog. So just kind of extending the legs, relax the head and neck. And so remember, you can bend your knees, you can kind of pedal out, you can wiggle around. Any movement that feels good in down dog. And then we'll add a little bit of movement here. So with the inhale, when you're ready, roll forward into your plank. So full breath in, doesn't have to be a perfect plank. And with the exhale, roll back. So we'll do this 5 times with your own breath, kind of moving in whatever way feels good, just warming up your spine and your shoulders. I like to kind of imagine I'm a little wave rolling forward and then rolling back. Good. And then once you've done about 5, then pause in your down dog. Then from down dog, we're going to stretch back, look forward, and start to make our way into a forward fold. So you can take a bunch of tiny steps. You can take one giant step. Or, my favorite, I like to walk up halfway and back halfway. So however you like to come into your fold, feel free to bend your knees in your fold. Inhale to come up halfway, maybe press your fingertips to your shins. And then exhale, fold back down, bend the knees, drop the hips, roll up. Breathing in, shoulders down with the exhale. Inhale as you reach. Exhale to fold. Remember, you can always bend your knees as you fold. Inhale to come up halfway. Exhale to fold. Bend the knees, drop the hips, roll up. Breathing in. Shoulders down with the exhale. Again, inhale as you reach. And exhale to fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, drop the hips, roll up, breathing in. Shoulders release with the exhale. So then from here, we're going to keep our standing position. Feet can be hips width, or you can go a little wider. Sometimes I kind of prefer to go a little wider than hips width. And we're going to do a little bit of side body opening. So I'm going to turn to face you. So again, the width of your feet is totally up to you. As you inhale, reach the arms up. Interlace your fingers, press your palms up. So the elbows don't have to be straight here. You can keep a little bend if it feels good. And then with the inhale, reach up and over to the right. See how that feels. You can look down, look forward, look up, rest, your choice. Inhale back to center, exhale here, then inhale up and over to the left. Again, change up the gaze if you like to. And with the breath in, we're going to come back to center. With the exhale, we're going to release the hands behind the back. Again, the width of the feet is totally up to you. So as you interlace fingers here, you can always keep your elbows bent, or you can press the arms to straight if you like. Either way, wherever you are, take a breath in, and then with your exhale, bend your knees, fold over your legs, relax your head and neck. Hands can rest at your back, or you can lift your hands away from your back if it feels good to your shoulders. I like to wiggle around. You can do whatever feels good. Make sure that you're not really feeling, or holding, I should say, holding tension in your head and neck. Breathe here. And then as you inhale, come up halfway. Let your hands rest on your back. With your exhale, fold, let your fingertips come down. So now we're going to move into Malasana, garland pose. And this is a place where you might want to use a block. So your feet are going to go a little wider than hips width. If you've got a mat, you can go maybe mat's width distance. Toes are going to turn out slightly, heels in, and then you're going to come down into this deep squat position. So then you can always adjust the width of your feet depending on what feels most stable to you. And so, for example, here, you can have your fingertips down, you can take your hands together at your heart, you can open your arms up, and if this feels good to you, go for it. If you wanted to see what it feels like with a block, you can put the block underneath you, like a little stool, so you can sit on it. And sometimes that takes a little bit of pressure off. I like it because it helps me sit up straighter. It feels a little better to my back, but totally up to you. See what you like. Go ahead and breathe here. And then from here, wherever you happen to be, we're going to add a little bit of movement. So if you want to grab that block or maybe a little pillow or something to sit on, go for it. We're going to move this into a little bit of a twist. So you're going to leave the right arm on the inside of that right knee. So kind of imagine pressing that right forearm or elbow into the right knee. Actively press the left knee open, and then take that left arm and reach up like you're going to tap the ceiling. Breathe there. You can even look up if you like, or maybe look down, whatever feels, again, best to your neck. Breathe in, and then with your next exhale, take the left arm, reach it to the inside. So this kind of acts like a little barrier to help press the knee open. I'm going to actively press the right knee open, then take my right arm, reach up like I'm going to tap. You can look up, maybe look down, maybe somewhere in between, whatever feels good to your neck. Take a breath. And then with your exhale, bring the hands down. We're going to rock some weight forward so that we can unfold the legs. Walk the feet back in a little bit. I'm going to move my handy dandy block out of the way. And then we're going to move back into our downward facing dog. So you can stay in your down dog, or we can go through a Vinyasa variation. So for this variation, inhale forward into your plank. You can lower however you like to. Or with your exhale, you can come down knees, chest, and chin for 8 points bow. Inhaling into little cobra, just a little lift, head and neck stay relaxed. And then with the exhale, sitting back, tucking the toes, moving back to down dog. And then pausing here. Good. And from our down dog, we're going to take the right foot, or right leg, I should say, and lift for three-legged dog. The height of the leg, remember, is not important. Keeping the foot flexed, see how that feels. And then with the exhale, starting to step the right foot between the hands. Now, if stepping the right foot between the hands feels kind of wonky, that's okay, because we can wiggle in as much as we like to, and we're going to place the left knee down. So if maybe your foot landed kind of halfway, that's okay, because you can wiggle, wiggle, wiggle until you can relax forward. The blocks are also a nice option here to go underneath the hands. You can always leave your hands on the floor or your mat. You can pop your hands up on the blocks. You can take your hands to your knee, or you can reach all the way up if you like. Whatever feels good today. Breathing here. Good. And then when you're ready, you're gonna take your fingertips back down, tuck your left toes, extend your left leg, and we're gonna slide into a plank. We're gonna breathe in. You can lower your choice with your exhale. You can push to down dog. You can hold your plank, whatever feels good. I'm gonna do my little 8 points bow in cobra, and then exhale back to down dog. Now we're gonna take the other side. So now, inhale, left leg lifts. Don't have to lift super high, just thinking about keeping the foot flexed. And then with the exhale, starting to step the foot between the hands. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Right knee can relax down. Hips relax forward. And we can stay on fingertips. We can use our blocks. I like to pop the blocks up a little bit here. Pause here. Maybe try a different variation. And so remember that it's okay to do different things on each side. So if on the first side I stayed on my blocks and the next side I reached up, that's okay. No big deal. Breathing. Noticing if we feel any differences between the sides. And then when you're ready, we're gonna move our little blocks. Hands are gonna come down, tuck the right toes, extend the right leg, slide the left foot back for plank. We're gonna breathe in. You can lower any variation. You can push back to down dog, your choice, whatever feels good. And then we're gonna move back into our down dog. Good. Now from down dog, we're gonna make our way into a fold, but this time we're gonna walk hands back to feet. And then from our forward fold here, you can keep a little bend in the knees if you like. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale and fold. And then we're gonna take our first two fingers and thumb around big toes. Good. And then again, knees can be bent or straight here, your choice. We're gonna inhale halfway as best you can. Exhale and fold. And then as we fold, head and neck are gonna relax down. And we're gonna be thinking about letting those elbows come out if they're gonna bend, rolling our shoulders away from the ears. So instead of letting my little shoulders kind of slump toward my ears, I'm just gonna think about creating some space for my neck. And breathing here. And if having straight legs doesn't feel great, I can bend my knees, no big deal. Breathing, seeing what feels good. And then releasing our little toes, inhaling to come up halfway, exhaling as we fold, and then walking our hands forward to come back into our down dog. This time from down dog, we're gonna inhale to lift the right leg up and back, just like before. This time you have an option to bend the knee, open up, and stack the hips, if that feels good to you. Inhaling if you had that coming through center, and with the exhale, stepping the foot between the hands to come into our warrior two position. So we're gonna firm up the legs, inhale to come up. And so as we come into our warrior two, as I fall over, as we come into our warrior two, remembering that the length of the stance and the depth of your lunge are up to you, but you want to see what feels good. So ignoring kind of what it looks like and making sure that we're protecting all of our joints. Everything is staying happy. And remember the angle of the back foot. Again, you can kind of change up depending on what feels good to your pelvis. Arms reach out, I'm gazing forward, breathing here. Shoulders relaxed. Then we're going to move into a little side angle variation. So if you have a variation of side angle that you like, go for it, take it. I'm going to show you the one that I'm trying out today, just because it's what feels good today. So we're going to reach forward. And with the exhale, I'm going to take my forearm on top of my thigh. Left arm is going to reach straight up. Good. So if you like to come down further inside or outside, maybe you like to reach, maybe you like to bind, go for it. Take those options. I'm just showing you one. So I'm going to go ahead and take the left arm over the ear, see how that feels. And then as I create this little frame, I'm going to think about keeping everything nice and secure so that I'm not collapsing into a shoulder, not sinking too far into a hip. And then maybe just for fun, if you want to, you can take the right arm and reach forward and see how that feels. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't. If you don't like it, remember, put it back down. And then we're going to press into the legs, inhale back up. With the exhale, straighten the right leg, take hands to hips, turn the right toes to face whatever wall you might be facing, and then we're going to breathe in, and with the exhale, fold. Now, another place that I like to use blocks so that I can place my forearms onto the blocks, relax the head and neck, take a little fold here. Breathing deeply, seeing how it feels. Remember, we can always move our blocks out of the way. And then when you're ready, take hands to hips, press into your legs to come up halfway, exhale, then press into your legs to come all the way up. We're going to turn our right toes forward, and then you can take one big step up, or sometimes it feels good to kind of toe heel closer so that then you can take a step up to the front of your mat or wherever you happen to be. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, come up halfway. With the exhale, fold, bring the hands down. We're going to step to a plank. You can always step to down dog, stepping to plank. This time, again, lowering any variation you like. Inhaling to maybe cobra or up dog. And then exhaling back into our down dog. This time, we're going to take the other side. So now inhale, left leg lifts. If you want to, bend the knee, open up, stack the hips. Inhale to come to center. Exhale, left foot is going to step between the hands. Back heel drops, coming up to warrior two. So now my back is going to be toward you. So we're going to set it up, snuggle in, get cozy, relax the shoulders. Good, and breathing here. And then we're going to move into our side angle on this side. So remember, any variation you like, whatever feels good. Inhale, reach forward. If you like this variation, you can take your forearm onto your thigh. Right arm can reach up. Remember, you can always take the hand down further, inside or outside. You could use a block if you like. And then if you want to reach the arm over the ear, you can take that option. If you like to take this left hand and reach forward, you can take that option. And then wherever you are, we're going to push down. Inhale, lift back up. With the exhale, straighten the leg. Turn the toes to face the wall. Hands to hips. This time, breathe in. And with the exhale, again, fold. I'm going to fold this way. Relax your head and neck. Good. And then when you're ready, from here we'll take a different option. So in your fold now, I'm gonna go kind of sideways so you can actually see a little bit better. Don't mind me just crawling all around the room. So I still have my wide stance, but now we're actually gonna take our hands and walk them forward to press back into essentially a wide-legged downward facing dog. And just seeing how that feels. Then when you're ready, walk your hands back towards your feet. Feel the weight in your legs. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of walk my feet in toward each other slightly so I have a firmer base. I'm going to feel the weight of my legs. Take hands to hips. Inhale halfway. Exhale, then inhale all the way up. We're going to turn our left toes forward and step to the front of the mat. So wherever you happen to be, inhale, reach up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale and fold. Again, we're going to plant the hands. You can step to plank and lower. You can step to down dog and stay there, your choice. And then from our down dog, we're going to come onto our knees. Take a little child's pose, knees wider together. Another option, I like to take my hands, stack them, make a little pillow for my forehead. And then once you've taken a couple breaths in your child's pose, go ahead and make your way forward to your hands and knees. And then from hands and knees, we're going to take the right leg, step it back with the toes tucked under. And we're going to flex the right foot and lift the right leg. From here, with the exhale, right knee is going to tuck behind the left, so it's like our legs are crossed. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. I'm going to readjust hands so they're back under the shoulders. Then I'm going to take my little feet and separate them slightly, right? And then from here, inhale, drop to cow. See how that feels? Exhale, curl in. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale to cow. And then exhale. Come to neutral. Feel the weight in the left knee. Extend the right leg back. Place it back down. Might have to readjust a little bit. We'll take the other side. Left leg steps back. Left toes flex, lift, breathe in. Exhale, tuck your knee behind your right, so it's like your legs are crossed. Maybe reposition the hands. Take your feet, separate them slightly. Take a deep breath in, drop to cow. See how that feels through the hips. Exhale, curl in. Inhale, drop to cow. Exhale, round. Again, inhale, drop to cow. And exhale, round. Come to neutral. Feel the weight in the right leg. Extend the left leg back. Place it back under the hip. Reposition. Then we're going to move back into our down dog. Then from down dog, we're going to stretch back, look forward, and with your exhale, you can step, walk, or bunny hop to the front of your mat, your choice. Inhale, you scoop this way. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale and fold. And bend the knees, drop the hips, roll up. Breathe in. All right. Shoulders release with the exhale. And then from here, we're going to move into a little bit of balance. So we're first going to move into just a knee-high balance with a little bit of an option. So it's kind of a weird option, but if you've got your block, I'm going to ask that you grab it. If you don't have a block, you can use a pillow, you can use a book, you can use anything that has kind of a flatter bottom, all right? So as we move into our balance, we're going to challenge our balance by using the block. Now, I'm going to turn this way. That will be easiest. So I'm just holding the block for right now. I'm just going to hold it between my hands just because it feels like the least awkward place to hold it. So we're going to start by shifting the weight into the left foot, coming up onto the right toes. And then when you're ready, starting to flex your right foot and lifting your right knee up. So you have this little kind of angle, little shelf for your leg, right? From here, we're going to take the block and place it on top of the right thigh, right? So it's like we're just going to hold it right there. I'm going to then take my hands to my heart. I like that. You can always take hands to hips. And then we're going to try to hold that block there. Then for funsies, just to try it, just for fun, if the block falls, no big deal. We're going to imagine that our right knee is like a little door and the door is going to open to the side. So we're going to slowly open. Can't move too fast because then the block falls. All right, then we're gonna bring it in. Ah! Bring it in. And then we're gonna step out. We're gonna shake out. If the block fell, no big deal. We're gonna try it again. This time, other side. If you're like, girl, I don't wanna do the block, don't do the block, no big deal. Okay, so now I'm gonna hold my block awkwardly here. Shift the weight into the right foot, pop up onto the left toes. Start to find some balance. Flex the foot, maybe lift the knee, place my block. I'm gonna place it, maybe if I place it closer to my knee. Yeah, try that this time. Hands to heart or wherever you like. Nice long spine. We're breathing. If the block falls, it falls, no big deal. We're gonna open our little door. Super slow. We're gonna close the door. Super slow. And then hands back to heart. Grab your block. Step out. That was kind of fun, right? All right, we're gonna stop with the block. All right, so now we're gonna kind of reset everything. So shake it out if you need to. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, unfold. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, drop the hips, roll up. All right, so now we're gonna move into a variation of an eagle posture. So I'm gonna choose not to do the full eagle posture, just kind of halvesies, but it is totally up to you, whatever you wanna do. So just like you did before, we're gonna shift the weight onto the right foot, pop up onto our left toes, right? Then, just like you did before, flex your foot, lift your knee. Then, just like we were on hands and knees where you crossed your legs, you're gonna cross your legs. You're gonna think about crossing over the knee and then sitting like you would into a chair. I'm just gonna take hands at heart. Now, your foot can rest like it is, or you can tuck your little toes behind your calf if that's accessible. If maybe it is accessible but doesn't feel great, you can always untuck. If you wanna take eagle arms, go for it. Breathe here. See how it feels. Test it out. We're breathing. Then, with our next inhale, we're gonna come back up, releasing the knee and stepping out. Do a little shake. And then we'll take the other side. So then, feet are hips width or so, shifting the weight into the left foot, pop up onto your right toes, see how it feels. Go slowly. If you need to try it more than once, that's totally fine. Then maybe start to lift. Then imagine it's like you're gonna cross your leg like you're sitting in a chair and then snuggle into your chair. Again, your foot can kind of hang out, or you can tuck your little toes back there, go for it. One side may feel really different from the other, and that's perfectly cool. So relax the shoulders, breathe here. Notice which side feels a little different. Notice where you might be feeling sensation. If you want to take those eagle arms, more power to you, go for it. And when you're ready, we're gonna unwind, lift up, breathe in, exhale, step out, do a little shake, and then full vinyasa or not, totally up to you. Inhale and reach. Exhale and fold. Inhale, come up halfway. With the exhale, fold. You can step to down dog and hang out, or step to plank and lower. Inhale to cobra or up dog. And then exhale, back to down dog. Then from our down dog, we're gonna make our way through to a seated position. From seated, soles of the feet are gonna come together. For Baddha Konasana, if you like to sit on a blanket or a block here, you can. Since I've got my blanket, I'm gonna go ahead and say, yes, I want the blanket. And then, all right, so you can hang out here. Your fingertips can be behind you just to help support your spine if you like that. You can lean forward if you like to. I'm also going to use my blocks here to show you a different option. So if you like to lean forward, go for it. If you like to sit up, go for it. If you like to round forward, sometimes that feels really good. I also like to round, but I like for my head and neck to be supported. So I'm going to create a little shelf with my blocks, right? like a little Stonehenge situation. Then I'm gonna round and let my little head tap down. And then arms can just kind of rest wherever they feel comfortable. And you can always, depending on how you're feeling, bump them down, bump them up, whatever feels good. And we're gonna breathe here, taking about 5 breaths. Wherever you happen to be, whatever option you've chosen. And remember that if you've chosen one option, maybe it's not really feeling great and you want to try a different one, give yourself permission to change your mind. That's fine. Do what feels good. All right. And then when you feel ready, slowly start to come up. If you are folding, if you want to stay there longer, you stay there longer, hang out. I'm going to move these little guys over to the side. We're going to extend our legs now. If you want to stay on your blanket, go for it. If you want to come off of it, go for it. Feet can be hips width or maybe a little wider than hips width if you like. Arms are going to reach up. And with the exhale, folding forward for Paschimottanasana here. Good. So again, nice long spine. If you want to round, go for it. If you're going to round, again, I suggest to take a little block under your forehead. It's totally up to you. Rounding does not feel great to my body, but if it feels good to you, go for it. In fact, sometimes a little bend in the knees makes my back a whole lot happier. So anything that feels good. All right, and then from here, we're gonna roll up, release, and do one more little fold. So this time we're gonna move into a straddle fold position. So I'm gonna move away from the wall a little bit so I've got some space. I'm gonna keep sitting on my blanket because it helps me feel a little bit more tilt in my pelvis. We're gonna take the legs wide in a straddle position. And then again, you can stay upright. So if this feels good to you and you just kind of want to hang out here, some people even like their fingertips behind them, go for it. If you want to lean forward, go for it. Whatever feels good to you, and breathe. So again, remember that we're looking for sensation, not discomfort, not pain, right? Not the most sensation ever. Just breathing, exploring, being curious. And remembering that you always have the option to change your mind. And then when you're ready to come up, if you were folding, gently come up. Bring your legs in. You can come off of your little blanket. You're gonna move it to the side. Probably use it again later. We're gonna scoot forward to come down onto our backs. Good. And so then as you come onto your back, it might feel good to keep your knees bent. And I like to take little windshield wipers side to side with the knees here. Just kind of seeing how that feels. And then from here, we'll take a reclined pigeon. So left leg is going to stay as it is. Right ankle's going to rest on top of the left thigh for like a figure 4 position for this reclined pigeon. You can stay as you are. You can add a little movement, maybe rock side to side. You can pull your knees closer to your chest. Take this option. You can add support by creating or interlacing your fingers underneath your left thigh. And if you're interlacing fingers, but maybe you feel like you're doing a crunch here, you can always grab a strap or a towel or whatever you've got at home and hook that around your leg instead. So again, finding what feels good. I like to rock side to side. And then wherever you happen to be, if you had your legs lifted, go ahead and place your left foot back down. Then from here, pause, see how it feels. If you want to try a slightly different option, you're going to hug your knees back into your chest, but without using your hands. And then take your legs like they are and drop them over to the left. So the sole of your right foot taps down, left leg taps down. And then it's like we're going to brace the ankle with the thigh, right? Right arm's going to open up. Sorry, blanket was in the way. Left hand is going to gently press on the inside of this right leg, looking to feel sensation here. So see how this feels. Then when you're ready, inhale back to center, both feet release. Maybe take a windshield wiper, and then we'll take the other side. So now left ankle rests on the right thigh, flex the foot. Maybe think about relaxing the knee forward, right? See how this side feels. And again, very normal if one side feels one way, the other side feels a different way, totally fine, no big deal. So you can always change up the variation of the posture based on how it feels, right? So again, you can stay, you can hug in, you can interlace if it feels good, whatever feels good. You can add a little bit of movement. Good. And then wherever you happen to be, place the right foot back down if you had it lifted. Pause there, just kind of see how it feels. And if you want to try a little different variation on this side, hug them in, then drop everything over to the right. Sole of the left foot touches down, right leg touches down, and then left arm opens. Right hand pushes on the inside of the left thigh or knee. So just a gentle push. Doesn't have to be forceful. Sometimes just kind of the weight of your hand leaning up against your leg is enough. So see how it feels. Notice where you're feeling it. And then when you're ready, start to bring your legs back in. Place both feet back down. Maybe do a windshield wiper. See how that feels. And then if it feels good to you, then hug both knees in. Give them a little squeeze. I like to rock side to side. Good. And then you can choose whatever inversion you like for today. Because I have my blocks here, I'm going to choose to do a waterfall position with the block. But remember, you can always keep your knees hugged in, extend your legs. You can take bridge, supported bridge with the block. You can turn to a wall and put your legs up on the wall for a waterfall position there, legs up the wall position. So anything that feels good to you. And you're also more than welcome to skip the inversion. So maybe there's a different pose that you want to do that's not an inversion and you prefer that, go for it. I'm going to take my little block, push into my feet, lift the hips, slide the block under, relax down onto it. And then I'm going to lift my legs for a waterfall position. Now normally I have to readjust the block a little bit. So you can keep your knees bent if you're choosing to take this option. You can extend your legs if you like that option. So anything that feels good, pause here. Arms can rest wherever you like, up to you. And then wherever you are, once you're ready to come out of your inversion, you can slowly start to come out. Take your time. You want to stay there longer, no big deal. We're going to slowly come out, pausing, and then hugging the knees back in. We'll take a little twist here. So I'm going to take both knees, drop them to the right, open up left arm, maybe look over the left shoulder if it feels good to your neck, and breathe here. And when you're ready, pull the knees back to center, and with your next breath, drop them to the left or the other side, opening up the right arm. You can look over the right shoulder if it feels good. And then with your next breath, bring your knees back in, give them a little hug. Imagine telling your body thank you. And then we'll begin to make our way into Shavasana. So however you like to rest, remember that you can stay on your back, you can roll to your side, roll to your abdomen, you can come into a seated position or move over to a wall space if you like. So I am going to take it recline today. I'm going to take my little blanket, make a little pillow for my head and neck, and then taking Shavasana. So remember, any position that you like to be comfortable in, arms and legs can rest in whatever way feels best to you. And so making sure that you give yourself time to rest in stillness and in silence so that you can fully integrate your practice. So our Shavasana today is going to be about 10 minutes. And so letting yourself get completely comfortable, taking a couple of deep breaths, scanning through from the top of your head all the way into your feet, making sure that your body is completely comfortable, allowing yourself to take up space, to rest. And so taking a deep breath in and a full exhale. And again, deep breath in, full exhale. And now imagine taking your deepest breath in and your longest exhale. And letting yourself soften. Allowing yourself this time to just simply be, to not have to think or do or plan, to just give yourself a few minutes to practice stillness, both in your body and in your mind. knowing that if at any moment you start to become distracted or frustrated, you can always come back to the rhythm of your own breath, paying attention to your inhales and your exhales. a very deep breath in. And a full exhale. And again, a deep breath in. And full exhale. And then when you're ready, slowly start to add small movements to your body. And then gradually making those movements a little larger, taking your time. Maybe stretching out. And then with the exhale, relaxing the arms, beginning to bend the knees. Maybe you like the feet to rest down, or maybe you prefer to hug the knees into the chest, and adding any movement that you might like. And then when you feel ready, rolling onto your right or left side and pausing there. And then using your hands to help you come up to an easy seated position. However you like to sit, folding your legs in or positioning them in whatever way feels most comfortable. Letting the hands rest. And maybe keeping the eyes closed or maybe blinking the eyes open. Taking the hands together at the heart in prayer. Letting the thumbs rest against the sternum and taking a deep breath in. And a full exhale. And feeling the breath moving behind the thumbs. And making it part of our intention as we close our practice to remind ourselves that our breath is the reminder that we all often need, that we are right here and right now, that even though our minds can begin to feel anxious about the future or want to wander into the past, that we can always anchor ourselves in the here and the now by just simply acknowledging our breath. And as we close our practice, making it part of our practice off of our mats, to give ourselves time to practice being present, to practice being mindful and awake, aware and authentic. And so we close our practice in deep gratitude. Thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate all of you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And I appreciate all of you, like I said. Thank you again, and until we meet on the mat one day, thank you. Have a great day.